"400 years ago, the Guna Indians left the mountains of northern Colombia, driven away by the advancing conquistadors. They sought refuge on a string of islands in the Caribbean Sea. These land dwellers were forced to turn to the sea to safeguard their way of life and their culture. Guna Yala, land of the Guna. Nestling in the foothills of the Darien, this territory stretches for almost 200 kilometers along the Isthmus of Panama, composed of a wide strip of land and an archipelago of some 400 coral islands, home to many villages. To move between the islands, the Guna use 4 or 5 meter long canoes called ulus, cut from the trunk of a hardwood tree. Sailing the seas on these narrow boats is a real exercise in balance. The ulus have neither rudder nor centerboard. Their sails are a patchwork of fabrics held up by a sprit. I don't know how Leo manages to steer and stay on course. It's surprising how quickly it lists.
It's not easy at first. I've been sailing since I was a kid. My grandfather taught me all I know. The secret is to have perfect balance. When the wind is strong, you have to use your body as a balancing pole, keeping your oar like this. Then when there is a change of wind, you lift your oar out.
We head for El Tigre, a tiny island that's a 2-day sail away from the nearest road, where Leo lives with his wife and daughter. It is one of the 38 inhabited islands on the Guna Yala archipelago. Isolated and protected by the ocean and mountains, the inhabitants of El Tigre have preserved the lifestyle and identity of their people. Like all new arrivals on the island, I have to go to greet the Saila, the traditional village chief.
Do it this way.
A long time ago, our ancestors lived in the mountains. Then, when the conquistadors arrived, they had to flee. They discovered the islands, but there was nothing to eat or drink. Bugadup, who created the world as it is, told them that they could settle here and that he would provide everything they need.
I'd like to know what the sea represents for you, and especially what it gives you.
The sea is very important to us. Each member of our community must have a canoe, a sail, nets, everything you need to go fishing. We love the sea. It's like a grandmother to us. So that's what we call it. She takes care of us and provides everything we need.
So for you, the sea is an earth mother. Does the sea have any other dimensions for you?
The sea belongs to the Guna. It was given to us by Bugadup, the one who created the world, because nature is ours, and we have to look after it. When we fish, if we bring back a good catch, we have to share it with the whole community. Nobody owns the sea. She is the wealth of all the Guna.
To go fishing, the inhabitants of El Tigre have only to open their door. Sheltered from the wind, between the island and the mainland, the warm waters of the lagoon are teeming with fish. Using just a nylon wire and a hook, food can be caught as long as you have the knack.
When the bait is at the bottom, the fish come along to eat. You listen, and you can sense it. 1, 2, 3, and you bring it up. This is a technique my grandfather taught me.
It's vibrating. Great. It's a nice one, too. It's small.
It has a beautiful color. In Guna, we call it Yala Dala. It's very nourishing. We have all kinds, big ones, small ones. This one is small because it lives in the reef. See the white part over there?
The white foam.
Yes, that's the coral reef.
Okay.
It's a barrier. It acts like a wall. The water swirls a lot here. It's a favorite spot for fishermen, with lots of fish, lobster, and octopus.
But the residents of El Tigre could not survive without the nearby mainland. Every day, braving the swamps, men, women, and children head for the mainland. This is where they draw fresh water, grow fruit and vegetables, hunt game, and cut wood. It's very different from the sea here. Much quieter. Everything is still. How do you know when the water becomes fresh?
I just taste it. It's still salty here. Upstream, it should be better.
It's still salty here?
Yes.
We enter a huge forest, which seems to quite literally drag us in. This is one of Central America's last primary forests. The Guna call it the Bonigana, the spirit sanctuary.
Oh, disculpe, te llamé. Esta planta nos protege.
This plant will protect us from evil spirits.
Yeah, okay.
Before entering the forest, you protect yourself against the spirits?
Yes, and everything you find in the forest, everything Mother Earth offers us, serves to protect us.
Para protegernos. Sí.
The people of El Tigre practice slash-and-burn agriculture. First, areas of forest are cleared, then burned to fertilize the soil. It's a form of subsistence farming that produces rice, bananas, yams, and especially cassava, which is a staple of the Guna diet.
We've reached the plantation. This is cassava. We need to dig at the root.
So each branch has a tuber.
Cada cosecha
Once you've removed everything, you replant the small pieces.
lo siembras. ¿Sí? Y así sucesivamente.
And so forth.
Cada uno
Everyone replants so that we don't end up without cassava.
no mucho,
I don't take too much because it's only for me. Tomorrow other people from the village will come. That's why it's important to replant.
The Guna follow the cycles of nature. Plots are cultivated, then left fallow according to a set of very specific rules, which allow the forest to regenerate. So, are you a people of the sea or a people of the land?
Nosotros somos de la tierra,
We are land people,
pero
but we have learned to live with the sea.
con el mar. Porque de aquí, como
It is too dangerous to stay here all the time, with all the mosquitoes, bees, snakes, and crocodiles.
por eso la vida en la isla es mejor.
That's why it's better to live on the island.
A la tierra firme, a la madre
But we must still return to the mainland, to Mother Earth, to gather food.
el coco, la naturaleza que
Cassava, mangoes, coconuts.
es parte de nosotros.
The nature around us is part of
La
us.
isla. Pero mucho mejor.
Life on the island is better, but the mainland is indispensable.
Dios nos hizo
God gave us all this.